Now
We
that
can talk about
we're
that later.
how many more months in? Yeah. People's reactions, people's thoughts on whether we should be combined with the old server, because I mean there's a lot of pros.
Mm,
Lot of pros.
lots. Agreed.
There's also a
Where,
lot of
where'd you? Okay.
cons for doing that maybe
Right.
are not so noticeable.
I'm I'm warming up to the idea a little bit more. Yeah, let's talk about this because this is a good topic to have at this point. We are 3 months or so into the new servers and can think about how things are going in comparison to the old servers and whether or not we are able to catch up. What do you think?
We're
Should we
talking
connect at some
about,
point?
what are you guys thinking? I would love to hear people's perspective on the new servers, people's perspective if you're playing on the old servers. I don't think
Socrates says
that it
maybe
should come anytime soon.
right. So how long did Pristine and Release take to connect? Was it? I'm pretty sure it was over a year, but I don't think it was that much over a year. It wasn't 2 years, was it?
I don't know
That's
if it
an
was
interesting
over
point.
2 years.
Does anybody know how long it took for Pristine and Release to get connected to the old servers?
Ooh, I'm about to die.
Oh, are you? Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, so I'll tank a few. Oh yeah, donut kebab. You couldn't really sell too much. You're right. Like it's competing in the economy of the old servers as it is now would not be fair to you for sure. Um, we're not really talking about connecting now. We're talking about connecting maybe a year from now or whatever it is. The date is not set, but at some point or another, they're going to connect, and I think that that was the plan all along. Okay, so Wolfmare recalls that the connection was made about 1.5 years.
Yeah, it was more about your thoughts on what you're thinking right now,
But
on
totally
when
as
you
to
feel these should be connected, if at all,
but
or
but Dalrace,
and why.
your or sorry, Donut Kebab, your opinion matters here the most, I'd say, because you're one of the people who came to this game after the new servers were opened. And I really think that the devs, the people who make these decisions, need to take into account people like you and your opinion. I know for a fact that all the people on the old servers are dying for the new servers to get connected. Like, I think every single one of them would hope that one day the servers will be connected. And many people have the opinion that the sooner the better. And there's good reason for that. Like the people of Wurm love playing with other players. It's like one of the things that makes this game great. And there's a lot of people on the new servers, and the old server players would love to have a new influx of more people to play with, so that events like Impalongs and you know public events like this are more engaging and fun. And yeah, it's just okay. So Makufa, you're saying preferably later than sooner, and you're also you're on the old servers, so I'm curious to know what your opinion is about why that is. And it might be aligned with probably the reason why I also think it should be later than sooner.
He said plenty to sell, but yes, for quality demanding stuff, it would be unfair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be unbalanced. Yeah. There's all there's a bunch of people on the forums as well who are thinking like new players should have the choice to pick the Southern or Northern Freedom Isles, and that they would argue that there's a lot that the Southern Freedom Isles would offer a new player, but that new player would find this problem where their skills in relation to others is way too low, and the effort of catching up to the old servers would be astronomical, right? So I don't know. It's a hard choice here. I know for a fact that I've been having so much fun on the new servers simply because everybody's skill is the same and it's all low.
I think the skills will balance out eventually. I mean, that's one problem with joining them too soon. The other problem is just all of the stuff that has been built on the old server would trivialize anything that could possibly have been built on the new servers in this amount of time. That would also eventually balance itself out. But then you have the problem of the amount of items that are just around on the old servers. How long would it even take to get the same amount of just stockpiled items on the new servers?
Right. It'll take
to get to that point, because at that point, maybe the bulk items, the high level bulk items, are just sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah. The ugly truth is that. Sorry, go ahead.
It could potentially just break the economy, or it would essentially break whatever economy we have here.
Here, yes.
On the new server.
The ugly truth is that what a merge would do, it would make everything that is on the old servers so much more valuable. So much more valuable, right? Like, I have a large storage unit filled with enchanted items there that are worthless. Worthless because 70 plus casts are pretty much not desirable anymore on the old servers. And so it's just sitting there with like tons of 70 plus casts, rare items and stuff. And while there might be a little bit of value now, if the merge were to happen, all of a sudden that cupboard would be super valuable. And that's the reason why people on the old servers may want a merge to make all of their stuff more valuable. Right, exactly, Makufer. You would be super wealthy. Exactly.
So the goal here as a developer is to figure out the best time where all these cons become no more a con. All of these issues, like having the same amount of bulk goods at the same levels, having the enough high-level skilled players that it wouldn't matter too much, and they have to figure out when that time is.
Yeah, and it's going to be a balance. I think that no matter when they do it, there's always going to be some people opposed to a merge. Oh, we got a second croc on us. Let's take this guy out quick. Yeah. It's almost certain in my mind that there will be a merge. I really would hope that they wait probably even longer than a year and a half. We're so early into the opening of this server that it's not really worth worrying about it right now, because a year from now you're gonna, like, all these new players who are worrying about it, a year from now you're gonna feel differently, right? Like Socrates was saying, it would only take 20 years to catch up if the old players stop playing, and I know that that's the feeling from a newer player's perspective. It feels that way within the first 3 months, but you're gonna find that after 1 year, you're not gonna feel that way anymore. Like, we started streaming this game.
You'll feel a bit differently.
Yeah, you'll feel it definitely differently. When did we start streaming? How long after we started playing did we start streaming?
It was at least a few months, maybe 6 months to 8
Maybe
months,
6 months.
something like that.
8 months is probably closer. And I felt like when we went to that Impelon on our fourth episode ever.
That was like 10 months in. The
Was it?
Impelon. Yeah. That was December, and I think we started around February.
February to December. Okay, that's fair. So when we went to that Impelon, I felt like I was in the veteran camp already. Like, so it took us 10 months to
And
get
remember,
to the
we
point
were
where we were the Impers
years-
at the Impelon.
We were years behind people.
Years behind people.
Years
When we
behind
started,
people.
there were people who had played for like 7 years before us.
Maybe 8 years.
Maybe 8 years. So we were years behind. We felt like we would never catch up at the beginning, but within 10 months, we were the veterans at the Impelon. Like we didn't really get anything in for ourselves. We were
And
imping for
there's
other
a
people.
reason to this. And if you really think about the way that this game works, I mean, let's just look at the profession as an example here. If you just look at, let's say you want to become a blacksmith, and you spend, like a blacksmith will spend all of their time trying to get their blacksmithing up. Maybe they do mining first. They do mining for a few months or a month, and then they do the blacksmithing for a bunch of months, and they get their skill up to 90 to 95. Adam got it up all the way to 99 eventually, but let's say you get up to 90 or 95, which doesn't take years
as
to
think.
do. So it doesn't take
Right.
as like the people spent their 7 years getting their blacksmithing up. It's not true. They might spend 6 months, let's say, doing it.
Yeah.
Which is actually quite a long time.
Yeah. And then they stopped doing that.
And then they stop doing it. And then they get good at another skill. But their blacksmithing doesn't get higher than years and years after they play. So as a new player, you're wanting to become a good blacksmith. You only need to spend the months to do it, not years, to get to that same sort of level as, let's say, a longtime veteran. You will only be good at blacksmithing. That veteran character might be good at more things, but they wouldn't be necessarily that much better than you at the one profession that you really care about.
Right.
And that's sort of what happens, right? In 2012, we come in, we're so many years late. Adam becomes a blacksmith and gets his blacksmith all the way up to 90, and then he doesn't feel...
Yeah, at that Impelon, so 10 months in, I dinged 96 blacksmithing.
And we had played
for
like
10 months.
10 months.
And we weren't power players, right? We weren't like crazy optimal everything. We were just players, like regular.
Yeah, the first 4 months or so, we had no idea how to play.
We had no idea how to play first 4 months. Our skills were crap after the first 4 months. But then it's like once you get into the groove of it, and once you start figuring out the details, and you start realizing, if I enchant my tools, right? If I get Circle of Cunning tools, and if I figure out more optimal ways to grind, over time things start picking up. And yeah. I mean, we're sitting here with no enchants on our tools, and I sat down in one session. My blacksmithing was 54 or something like that, and I got it to 60 in one session with no enchanted tools.
I still don't have any enchanted tools.
I still have no enchanted tools.
And my blacksmithing is now... No, my blacksmithing...
We have a couple... We do have a couple small.
Where's my leatherworking skill?
Tools.
Is now 83.
Yeah, with no leatherworking